pretty much forever.
But there's one problem, Adrian.
There is one problem.
Would we like to say this one problem? Tito, are you listening? I hope you're listening.
This is for you, Tito, and it's because we love you.
Tito, you're fat.
Lose some weight.
Lose some weight, Tito. All right?
Tito is not fat, but he's at 70 kilos and
He's a hair under.
kilos.
Mind you, Jake, you almost didn't get this shout out because then he started running his mouth about how, yeah, I'm 6'2". I'm like, you're not 6'2". I'm 6'1". I'm taller. We took our shoes off. Taller than me.
Yes.
Do the thing. He's do the thing.
Is it the
How dare you, Jake,
How
come and
dare you,
emasculate
Jake.
me in my own gym.
And now all of a sudden, Nevin's very cryptic with how much he weighs and his percentages and blah blah. I don't really.
Well,
care.
here's the deal,
I don't
guys.
really care. He thinks it's giving him an edge.
It's giving me an edge.
but it's not.
Not only am I
It's
living at my house, I'm living up here rent free. So
You keep saying that.
Rent free.
You're 100% not.
okay.
You're paying.
How dare you!
Yes.
I've got ready to go.
And with that, welcome back to the Big Flex, everybody.
Welcome back. Another week at the Big Flex.
Yep. Another week at the Big Flex. And we're excited to be back. We've actually been lazy the last week and didn't put one up after much success with the Question Time podcast, which we'll get to in just a second.
I don't know about lazy. I feel like busy is a better word than lazy.
Busy is a better word. We've actually
Yeah.
been very busy in here,
Yeah.
which is good, which is always a positive thing. So, what are we flexing on today? We have a list on the whiteboard.
We have a whiteboard now. Which
We have
is,
a whiteboard.
After much discussion, we have a whiteboard where we can write things down. And if anyone remembers not the last podcast, I think it was the one before that.
Yeah.
Where I usually write things down. I like to write things down. And then you told me, what was it that you told me, Nevin?
I said, we don't write this shit down and, all right. We don't write that down. I chucked your notebook away because we're not in 6th grade. We don't need a notebook. We have a big, cool whiteboard. It's way better than a
We're
notebook.
not in 6th grade anymore. So on the whiteboard today.
Yeah, on the whiteboard
we've
today.
got a list.
That's right. But it's different. A whiteboard compared to a notebook. Come
Well,
on now.
I think that's a good.
How dare you!
That's how we should start.
Yeah.
How dare
How
you?
dare I?
It's so important to write stuff down.
First thing that's new in the gym, apart from the setup that you can see is a little bit different in here today, is that we have a monolift. It has arrived, and it is majestic.
It's really nice. You're gonna splice in an image
Yeah,
or two.
I'll be
of these
splicing
ones.
in some images, all right?
It's look, I thought it was entirely unnecessary, to be completely honest, right? I was like, you can squat in a cage, you can mimic the setup. Like, we've got attachments that are similar to the monolift. I now, having used it and having had some of my clients use it as well, I understand.
It's so much better, right?
It's better, but it's not just better. It's actually pretty intimidating.
It's impressive.
It's big and it's daunting,
got
especially if you've
hooks on
never
it,
used one before.
chains on
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
So, I mean, for no one who knows, for anyone who doesn't know what a monolift is, it's for powerlifting specifically. It's how would you explain the setup to someone who's never seen one before?
Yeah, so basically, it's like a squat cage.
Yeah.
All right. You have your bar resting on some uprights and some hooks, and the difference is for a couple things. The first one is you have a hydraulic pump on the side, so that you can actually, even if there's a couple hundred kilos on the bar, if just say you're squatting with someone that's tall and someone that's short, and you're alternating, or if you're in a competition and you're going from tall to short, you don't have to take the weights off if they've got like 200-300 kilos in the bar. You can just pump it up with all the weight on there. So that makes it raises it up and down, right?
So it's specifically for competitions where people are running through like PB squats minute after minute after minute.
Correct. And then the second big change is that the uprights the hooks that your bar sits on, they can get adjusted narrow or wide. So you got like a real big guy like Gavin that trains here. He's super broad, and his hands normally want to rest.
I don't know, like real big, like kind of big.
He's pretty big. And his hands basically rest right where the hooks normally are on a squat cage. So he's always at risk of crushing his hands. Whereas this now we can just bring the hooks in, and his hands are completely clear. So safety.
And the hooks as well. If you're going for a PB squat, like a record attempt, and you put 400 kilos in the bar and you start walking around with it, it can be pretty dangerous. You don't want to be moving too much. So those hooks, after you lift the bar off the hooks, someone pulls a lever and the hooks move out of the way. So you unrack, you squat right where you are, and then as soon as you're backing up, the hooks go underneath. There's no leaning forward and away from the rack or moving around too much. And so it adds another little aspect of safety there as well.
Yeah. So like I said, I'll splice in some video, but we're really excited to have the monolift here. And we are actually getting laser cut the Strength Institute logo for the top of it. So it's going to be branded with the Strength Institute. So we're pretty dope about that.
And colors as well.
Yeah.
It's nice.
And then originally I was going to get rid of one of the squat cages so I could have room for it. And then I decided, no, I'm going to have 3 squat cages and a monolift. And so we rearranged the gym Tetris. We get it all figured out.
Yeah.
But that's all coming to a head now. There's a few more changes coming, so stay tuned for those.
I'm excited for the next couple of changes. Actually, it's gonna make some of the training things we do much easier
And much more fun as well.
Yeah.
Is that we're going to have a little bit of a check-in on our squat challenge progress.
Yeah, the squat challenge. So, what did we say we were going to reveal? I've been trying to speak to Nev about how much do you weigh? What do you squat? Like we've been training together this entire time for the squat challenge, even though we're competing against each other. And now all of a sudden, Nevin's very cryptic with how much he weighs and his percentages and blah blah. I don't really.
Well,
care.
here's the deal, guys.
I don't really care. He thinks it's giving him an edge.
It's giving me an edge,
but it's not.
Not only am I
It's
living at my house, I'm living up here rent-free. So
You keep saying that.
Rent-free.
You're 100% not.
Okay.
You're paying for it every single
I'm not though.
day.
So basically, the reason why I'm keeping my weight under wraps, guys, is because as you well know, strength is absolute. But Adrian insisted that we have a relative squat challenge, which is cool. I'm down with that. But he's a fair bit lighter than me, so I've been slowly taking my weight down just to improve my power to weight ratio, or strength to weight ratio, I guess, in this case. And so my weights are going up. I did a nice 235 kilo squat this week.
But how much do you weigh?
Exactly.
What's your percentage at?
You don't know, and you're not going to know just
Because
yet.
that's what the comp is all about. It doesn't necessarily matter how much he squats, as long as his body weight percentage, like what he actually squats compared to his body weight, is at a higher. Like he's going to be absolutely stronger than me, squatting more than me.
Yes.
Whereas if I squat less, but relative to my body weight, squat more, then I win. That's what the challenge is all about.
That's what we set out. Even though body weight isn't a true indicator of strength, because that's why they use coefficients in powerlifting and weightlifting.
just a
But
fun
that
challenge.
is how we decided to run it, and that is how we are sticking to it.
Yep.
Anyhow, I did a 235 squat. Got some juice left in the tank. We still got 8 weeks, 6 weeks. 6 weeks? Still got 7 weeks.
7 weeks.
7 weeks until our squat challenge.
And I got myself a 195 kilo squat.
195.
Which, if you remember, I'm not sure if we even said on the podcast previously what we were aiming for, but in my mind, had that 200 was going to be my limit. And I just hit a 195 this week. And a 200 deadlift, which is all time. I'm in the club.
Welcome to the
club.
200 club, man. Welcome to the 200 club.
Thanks.
It's awesome.
Thanks.
It's
And
good to have you here.
My lifts are going up pretty consistently, and I'm surpassing all the previous goals I set for myself. So I don't know what I'm capable of. It's exciting. Every single week I get a new PB.
Yeah.
So well over 200 for squats as well. With still 7 weeks to go, it's going to be interesting to see what I can do.
Yeah, well, it's very exciting because Adrian's training has covered a large, broad base of different training styles.
Yeah.
But he's not really focused on sort of like heavy 1RM stuff before. So it's been kind of fun from my side of things as well, getting him to do some of my more strength specific and general strength specific, and then soon to be peaking blocks with the different rep ranges and different exercises that he wouldn't have normally done, and how well he's reacting to it. And because normally they'll say, oh, you get really good gains when you're first starting out in training, which is true because you have no stimulus before, and so a little bit of technique and some work, and all of a sudden your weights just fly up.
But I've been training for 10 years.
Been training for 10 years, but again, not like this, right?
Yeah.
It's very structured, very different. And so, it's exciting for me to see you improve so much too. So, but in saying that, I'm still keeping my weight under wraps for now. All right, definitely getting a little leaner.
Well, so since you decided to do that, I decided I'm going to do the same thing as well.
Ooh.
Because I got some plans.
Okay.
I'm testing some things out. I'm seeing. I'm just gonna keep it under wraps as well. See
All right,
what happens.
that's
See what
cool.
happens on the day.
That's all good.
Yeah.
But so then basically that all leads into, because we're going to try to obviously break the records on the record board here, is there is going to be a record board change for those people that are on it or looking to get on it. All right, and Fiona, you're going to enjoy this one because she actually had a bit of a word to me when I first put the board. She said, "That's not a proper powerlifting board," because basically, on the powerlifting board or on the record board, it's a squat, a bench, a deadlift, and a total, right? Which is what you would do in a powerlifting meet. That's why I chose those 4. But because there's 9 or 10 weight classes for men and the ladies, and we didn't have all those people competing or filling it out, basically anyone that was in those weight classes could do their reps and their sets and weights, and we get the number up on the
I
board.
see what you're
And so
getting at.
basically we gave people totals just as a summation of their squat, bench, and dead. Generally in a competition, your total, it all has to happen on the same day.
Okay.
Right?
Yep.
And she was saying, but the total has to happen on the same day. And they say, yeah, but there's going to be only 3 totals on that board. That I don't want a big empty board. So basically, what I did was the summation of your lifts will give you a total until the board is filled. There are only 3 cells left: the 52 kilo ladies category, the bench, the deadlift, and the total. So once they are full, which will happen in the next few weeks, we are going to, if you want to break the total, it has to be done in one day. And there's a few ways you can do this. One, you can jump into a competition because more and more of our clients are getting into competitions.
As in like a novice comp?
As in a novice comp,
Yep.
WA.
So it doesn't have to be in this gym?
Doesn't have to be, no. Competition can be at another gym as long as it is a competition where you have proper referees, officiating the depth and everything like that, the technique. Basically, you can go into a comp like a novice comp. You can go into a sanctioned comp like GPC States or Western Classic, anything like that.
Is that obviously for our members only though?
Our board is still for our members only.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
So no one can just stroll on in here.
Have to be a member here for
I did a
six
comp.
for
Okay.
6 months, to
cool.
qualify to go onto our board.
Yep.
Because it is for our members, all right? Not someone to come in for one day and try to break a record. The other option is that if you want to just bang out all 3 in your training session, you can do that. But what I'm also going to do is twice a year, I'm going to have a record breaker day here at the gym where I'm going to hang around all Saturday. You can come in, take your sweet time, go through all your lifts and get a total. That way, everyone has an opportunity to get a total at least twice a year.
That's such a good idea.
Yeah,
I really like
bit
that.
of fun.
And then we can structure people's entire training programs around those
Correct.
2 days. That's
And-
awesome.
And also, there will be some prizes on record breaker days.
Ooh, what sort of prizes?
Well, they're to be decided, but they've got to be prizes.
Prizes for breaking other people's records or even breaking your own previous records.
I think what I have in mind is
Because the only thing better than me is me that's better than me.
right.
Right? If I'm trying to break my own records, you're just going to be like, nah, you did that already. Or every time you break a record, there's just a reward for breaking a record.
No, it's not a reward for breaking a record because there's so many records you can break. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's dozens up there.
But what if 6 months you do 100 kilos, say,
What
for
I'm saying,
example,
it's
bench,
gotta be-
and then the next 6 months you do 105. Like you're still...
I want to see a certain level of improvement. So maybe if someone does a clean sweep and breaks 4 from 4, they get a record. They get a prize.
okay, yeah.
Or if someone, for example, gets an unofficial Australian record or something, they get a prize, right?
Okay,
Because obviously it's not a sanctioned comp here at the gym.
right.
Can't be an official record. But if someone gets like a nationals type
So I was
record,
going to say,
prize.
if you did that, you'd have to give like 25 gifts out. Like people just training hard and breaking records. And
Right,
there's
exactly.
gonna be a lot of gifts to give out right away.
this is what I'm saying. We have to figure it all out. But I think that's a cool little idea there, just to get everyone like motivated and amped up and ready
like that.
ready to roll.
Yeah, that's good.
for
That's
sure.
good. Awesome. That's really exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. I like that whole concept.
Yeah.
That's gonna make a lot of people work a lot harder.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Do you want to go to the
Alright.
next point?
Next up
segment.
is a new segment on
New
Big
segment.
Flex. Client shout-outs. So we decided that this
is for you, everybody.
In the Big Flex from now on, each time I'm not even sure if it's each time we do the Big Flex because we're going to have a couple different versions of the Big Flex. Like the questions and answers was question time was
The question time was a huge success.
so we're just going to do separate question time podcasts. But on the regular Big Flex podcast, we're doing some shout outs to some of our clients. And we decided to pick 2 each time that we do them because we're proud of you. We're proud of you all.
That's
all
right.
And,
We're going to alternate through them? Like
yeah,
one,
you
one,
go
one, one?
first. Who
Yeah.
have you got?
I would like to shout out to young Jake Ferguson, everybody. All right, I've been training Jake since he was 13 years old, and I've gotten to watch him get stronger and stronger and bigger. And I almost didn't give him a shout out because not only did he, hang on, let me give him the shout out first. The shout out is he got a 140 kilo deadlift, all right, which is a 10 kilo PB, which is a big PB and it's a big deadlift. It's 3 plates each side, 320s each side.
How old is young Jake?
He is 16. He's year 11. That's 16, turning 17 in November,
Yes,
right? Yep,
yes, yes.
he's 16. So 16 years old, 140 deadlift. He's actually
Really-
jumping
really
into the novice comp at the end of this month. So he's 3 weeks away.
Ah, awesome.
And I already told him that I want 4 PBs. I want the squat, bench, dead, and total PB for him at this comp. And he's well on the way. He actually PB'd his bench press, 82.5 with a pause. He PB'd his deadlift, 140 by 10 kilos.
How's his squat going?
His squat's crushing it. His squat's doing really well. We've been doing a lot of banded work, and so he's looking strong out of the bottom. So Jake's going. He's on track for 4 from 4. So my first shout out to Jake. Mind you, Jake, you almost didn't get this shout out because then he started running his mouth about how, yeah, I'm 6'2". I'm like, you're not 6'2". I'm 6'1". I'm taller. We took our shoes off. Taller than me.
Yes.
Do the thing. He's do the thing.
Is the
How dare you?
How dare you, Jake,
How
come and
dare you,
emasculate
Jake.
me in my own gym.
that's
Anyhow,
that's kind of funny.
First shout out
actually.
goes to young Jake. Powerful Jake.
You can't call him young Jake anymore.
Sure
if,
can.
If he's taller than you, he's like your dad.
That's absolutely not my dad.
Call him young Neb from now on.
Don't you, Jake? If you call me young Neb, we're gonna have issues.
You're going to be escorted from the gym.
We're gonna have real issues. Your first shout out.
My first shout out is going to be to Tito. Tito is a friend of mine who I've been telling him for years and years since I've known him that I've wanted him to train because he has so much potential. And he's this year gotten on board and started training with me. And just like I thought he would, has gotten really, really strong, really, really quickly. And after a couple months now of training, his lifts are going up really, really consistently. And he's made a lot of progress, like way more than I thought he would at this point. He's just getting better every single week. And he's on track to take the entire 67.5 weight class on the board by a long margin. And I don't think anyone's going to take those numbers off the board for a while. If he gets up there and gets those numbers on, he'll have that pretty much forever.
But there's one problem, Adrian.
There is one problem.
Would we like to say there's one problem? Tito, are you listening? I hope you're listening.
This is for you, Tito, and it's because we love you.
Tito, you're fat.
Lose some weight.
Lose some weight, Tito. All right?
Tito is not fat, but he's at 70 kilos and he needs to drop
he's
a
a hair
few
under.
kilos just to get to under 67.5 to make the weight class.
That's right.
And so we've been nice and we've been trying to be gentle and encouraging, and that hasn't been working so well. So now we're just going
working, but just
straight to bullying.
Too slow.
Yeah,
He's been dropping weight, but just too slow. And then as soon as we ease up for a week, he's put weight back on. It's like, hey, what's going? So we've now resorted to we call it gentle bullying or bullying encouragement.
Some people respond really well to that,
Yeah.
and so we're hoping that Tito will as well. It's because we love you, Tito.
There's no threat of violence on Tito. It's just Tito, you stop being so fat and get some records.
Lose some weight and then be cool.
That's
like
right.
us. So I'm really proud of him and how well how far he's come along with his training as well. He's picking everything up and his consistency has improved across the board as well. So he's doing well. So that's the second shout out to Tito.
Nice. All right. Third shout out is to Angel. All right. Angel's one of my young athletics girls. She competes, I believe she's 16. She competes in under 17s. She is a sprinter, right? 100 and 200 primarily. But she is super duper athletics athlete here. All right. So she competed last weekend and crushed it. Got a PB in the 100 meters, PB in either the 200 or the 400. So I think it was 2 PBs out of the 3 races. She actually beat the reigning national champ from a year up, the under 18 champ in the 200 by 1/100th of a second.
Awesome.
Crushed it, right?
Yeah,
so not only smashing PBs, beating the national champ from a year older, also...
And how old is she?
I believe she's 16 now.
That
Started training
year,
when she was 15.
When you're that age makes a big difference.
Oh, yeah.
That's huge. It's like 14 to 15 to 16, like those age brackets when you're a kid and you're growing up, like that's a lot of performance over a year, a lot more weight, a lot more strength. So that's a huge goal.
Well, she works real hard. And anyway, so she got, I think it was 2 out of 3 PBs. She won that race. And then in the 400, right? So she's not really a 400 runner.
Yeah.
I was talking to her and her dad. They said eventually she's very naturally, in terms of proportions, that suited to be a 400 meter runner.
Yep.
So she's only run like 4 or 5 400s. And the 400 she ran on the weekend puts her at number 1 rank in Australia for her age.
Oh, really?
Not even a 400 runner.
Damn.
Savage.
That's awesome.
Savage.
Yeah.
So my second shout out and the third shout out overall goes to Angel. Well done.
Awesome. Good
For being a straight athletic savage.
Yeah. For being amazing. For being like a future champion, obviously.
That's right.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, cool. My next shout out goes to Deb. Deb, another one of my other clients. She's been with me from the very beginning. She signed up way back when I started here as well. And I'm shouting out to Deb because she's hands down made the most progress, more than any of my clients by far. When she came in here, she could barely squat without tipping over. She was really tight, not nearly as strong as she is now. And she just had a lot of work to do. And to her credit, she's done a lot of work.
Deb's in here all the time.
She's in here all the time.
Yeah.
She's just been in here 5 days a week or training 5 to 6 days a week for the last 4 or 5 months straight. We started off slow and built it up. She's done every single thing that I've asked of her and she's reaped the benefits. And she's also maybe the coolest person I know.
She has this
She definitely
souped up Honda Civic. Which
really
looks like a
cool.
race car, though.
Yeah.
I was shocked. It's like, this looks like a race car.
Yeah.
One of my other clients has what I thought was the same one. And this is Dorney. And he goes, no, mine's
yeah.
a poor man version. Hers is actually the good one. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, cool, right? So she also rides motorbike.
Yeah. She's just awesome. And so she wanted to get into powerlifting and she's put the work in and now she's starting to hit some really decent numbers. And I'm giving her a shout out this week because we got a 90 kilo PB on deadlifts, which is huge, considering where she came from. It's just been a really, really long and hard struggle for her to even sit into a squat with a bar on her back. We've only just been able to get a bar on her back for the last 2 or 3 months. Before that, she couldn't even squat with a bar without tipping over. And so she's been absolutely crushing it since the start of this year. And now we're starting to get her into more of a powerlifting structured program where we're lifting heavier and heavier all the time. And just really proud of Deb. I wanted to give her a solid shout out for all the hard work she's putting in.
90 kilo deadlift, chasing down that 100 club.
Yeah.
Which is really impressive.
Yeah.
So well done, Deb. And I think those are our 4 shout outs for the day. I think we're just going to do 4. Just four each time. So I think that's good there.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, congratulations, everyone. We're proud of you.
Yeah. Like we said, look, we want to try to introduce some other segments that are a little bit of fun as well. Like that's why we did the question time podcast last one, which actually was really successful. Like it got a lot of views and a lot of watch time. People watched it for longer.
One so far.
But hands down by about 5-fold, yeah. And so that was really good. Now, no one's actually given us any suggestions for the names. We're just going to keep it as question time for now, the Big Flex question time.
Yep.
But make sure if you have any questions for the next one, we're going to do them every sort of 2 or 3 podcasts. We'll do a question time one. I've already got a few questions back again, like 3 or 4. But make sure you comment on this episode or send us a message or do something like that because we're going to start writing them down. But we can only get so many questions onto each episode.
So
right?
first in, best dressed.
That's right.
I mean, also, like good questions will go in over bad questions. So, so there's that too.
There's that too. Yeah. I just wanted to touch on next upcoming comps. Right.
Yes.
So we've got a few. Basically, and this is, I think it's important to hear what the people in the gym are doing, right? These are not just random comps. These are people that are competing in. Basically,
our family,
our gym family. The soonest one is going to be the last weekend of this month. Last weekend of November is the Mega Novice Comp powerlifting over at Ruchi's gym. We have 2 people competing in that. We got young Jake. All right.
Yep.
Young Jake the Giant. And your partner is Sarah competing? She was if she's not working, correct?
It's uncertain at this point because
we need to know.
There's still people are still feeling the effects of COVID, and so the job she's got now, she works for the State Theatre Company. She unfortunately lost her job, got a job back, lost her job, got a job back, and so she's working at the moment. But she works nights, so she might not be able to actually compete on the day.
Okay, so basically, as soon as they release the competitor list and where they are on which day, we'll know. If she can't, we're going to get someone else in there. We do have a reserve in the back of our mind, okay? But otherwise, hopefully Sarah. That's the last weekend of this month. Then in December, we have Dan's record breaker comp, right? Where they got, I think it's 10 people trying to break Australian or national or world records for strongman. Megan is competing in that, trying to break the under 82.5 kilo women's log press record, which currently sits at 90 kilograms. So she's going to have to throw 91 kilograms up over her head. Recently did an 85, and we've been doing a lot of work. We've really bumped up that program. She's doing log 2-3 times a week, a lot of overhead work, a lot of stability work.
She's been working really hard.
She's been working hard. So that's the record breaker. She's going to be hopefully going for a national record in December. Up after that, we have the Western Classic, GPC sanctioned comp, Western Classic in January.
Whoa.
Yeah?
Whoa. There's one more.
Oh, geez. Sorry. Let me back that up. On the 26th of December, Boxing Day, we have our squat challenge.
The squat challenge. We've been talking about constantly for the last 6 months.
Yeah.
How dare you?
How dare I? To be fair, it's not a sanctioned comp, but it is. Yeah, sorry guys, it's probably the most important comp.
Yeah, no, there's other ones, man.
We're doing it on
Dare you?
we're doing it on Boxing Day. We're pretty excited. We're actually coming in here Christmas morning for our 24-hour weigh-in, as is allowed on GPC sanctioned comps.
All of the Christmas foods, we're going to weigh in 24 hours before.
Get the 24-hour weigh-in, and then we're going to go home, eat our Christmas hams, and then come back on Boxing Day and squat heavy. In saying that, not just squat, the competition is a squat. I'm still going to do my bench and deadlift so I can get a total all on the same day, Fiona. Got you covered, all right?
I'm going to try and just do a squat and deadlift. I haven't been benching. I've just been doing...
Well, we are going to do that test bench because when you stopped doing upper body work altogether in weights and started doing the ring work, you said, I'm interested to see how this will affect my bench. And to be fair, you did a 110 pause rep for 1. So you've not done any bench for the last 3 months.
Yep.
But you have been doing ring work, and we still got almost 2 months to go. Right? So 5 months of ring work.
Yep.
I'm really interested to see. So we'll do it. We'll still do one.
So I wasn't sure the protocol for that because I was thinking I would do like a couple of weeks of bench work leading up to it just to condition my body for it. Ring work's all well and good, but then if I throw 100 kilos on a bar, I'm going to go to Snap City, right?
You won't go to Snap City, and as long as you warm up fine, you just will be limited by your strength.
Okay.
It's only a 1 rep. And you take your time, warm up. It's not like we're just going to put 110 on the bar and say, you have a crack. Like, we'll get you there. Like, we'll ease you on
I'm
in.
really interested because I've started leveling up in some of the skills that I'm doing, and I'm struggling with them because they're really hard. And if they don't make my bench better, I'm going to be pissed.
Yeah.
By putting this much hard work in and it not actually paying off. So I'm pretty keen to see how that goes as well.
So
But squat, bench, dead, like a normal comp, we're going to hold the same thing that we're going to be doing for our comps here twice a year, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that's happening on December 26th. Then jump ahead to January. We have the GPC sanctioned comp Western Classics, where we just have 2 lifters in on this one. We have Jess, who most recently did states this year. She's jumping in and she wants to get some nice PBs, which is great. She's actually chasing down Denise. Now, Denise isn't competing in the last few years, or hasn't competed in the last few years, but she
put some serious numbers up.
And they are different weight classes. Denise was competing in powerlifting Australia, which is slightly different weight classes. She was, I believe, in the 74 or 73 kilo class. I can't remember which one it was. And she has... there was like 12 or 16 Australian records, Oceania records, a Commonwealth record. Like, she was a weapon. So Jess is chasing down her deadlift. She wants to get a big deadlift, that's right? Awesome. So that's good, Jess. Have a crack. We've also managed to convince Big Gavin to compete in Western Classic. Yeah. And Big Gavin's going to be jumping into bench only equipped. So,
we've talked about this a little bit previously in some of the other podcasts, but for those people who don't know what equipped is, it's basically like wearing a Kevlar vest that barely stretches, and then you have to put several hundred kilos worth of weight on just to get enough range to press it out. It's like the tightest lackey band you've ever experienced in your life.
It's very, very strange.
Around your entire body.
And because Gavin's been getting more and more interested in it, I've been getting more interested in it, got all the equipment, been training a little bit. It was kind of frustrating, actually, because it does take a lot of time to learn how to move and how to brace properly in your equipment. And I was probably rushing it a bit and actually got a couple little tweaks in my lower back. So I stopped the equipment for now just so I can focus on normal squats for this squat challenge. But I'm going to get back into it next year with him. He's continued to train in it. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing. He's touched 180 kilos to his chest, bench pressing, in his shirt. And to a block, he's done 270 kilos. So... come January, he's going to be benching somewhere between 180 and 270 kilos. We're not quite sure yet what we're going to be going for.
So in terms of the equipment that he's using, right?
Yeah.
Why is it so hard? Is it just eventually working through and loosening up the bench shirt to be able to get that range?
There's
or is
a
it
little
to do with like technique.
Yeah, you can break in the shirt a little. Yeah, it's the technique. You can break in the shirt a little bit, but it's really, I think, more about you definitely bring the whole thing down lower. You're trying to get like the chest and the belly up higher. You're trying to work on breathing up into it, and you're trying to work on sinking your shoulder blades back and down. Like there's a lot of stuff, and like you're twisting everything in tight to try to it's a lot very technical. It's actually very technical.
Because when I watch, it just looks like he's trying to pull the bar down, and it just gets stuck. Like it just won't go. The suit's just too tight. It looks.
You got to learn. It's one of those things where you got to learn to almost push this pain barrier. It's like everything is so uncomfortable and painful, and it feels like you can't breathe, and it's crushing you. But you can just slowly sink down a few more millimeters at a time. It's like one of those. I think part of it is just conditioning your body to get used to that uncomfortableness of the bench shirt.
It is, pretty amazing. Considering that most people can't squat or deadlift that much weight, and he's going to be benching that much weight.
Yeah, it is fun to see him just even picking up and doing to I think it was a 5-inch block, 270 kilos.
Yeah, it's huge.
Which is pretty cool to see.
Yeah.
So I'll splice some stuff in here.
Yeah, so that's pretty exciting. That's pretty exciting, yeah.
So that's all the upcoming comps. And then obviously we don't know, sometime in January is going to be the state strongman competition, but we don't have a date for that yet. And then sometime, usually I think around May, is the GPC States, which I do want to get a team of at least 10 people together for. So how, just for everyone who now is going to be gunning for that records board and who is interested in competing, how do you qualify for States? No, so you can just sign up and go into it. Now, usually it's anyone. You don't need to do a qualifier. Correct. No. It's 120 people over 2 days. So spots are limited. So you have to be on it. Get in there, get your ticket quickly. You register, you pay your money, you pay your registration fee with GPC. Okay. That's how you do it. As soon as they announce a date and open up tickets, you get one, because they will sell out. It's sold out every time so far, right? Okay. Now, what this qualifies you for, and what any GPC sanctioned comp can qualify you for, is GPC Nationals, which is in July. So basically, if you perform well enough at a GPC sanctioned comp, so let's say WA has the Western Classic and GPC states, and other states have their sanctioned comps, what they might do is they like look at, all right, out of all the 90 kilo male lifters in Australia that competed in all these different comps, these were the best 12. They all get an invite to nationals for this weight class.
Cool.
Right? Yep. So anyone that competes at Western Classic and at states could potentially qualify for nationals if their lifts are big enough. Now, I believe nationals were in July, which lets me believe that the states will be before that. Normally, it was in May. It was cancelled this year. Oh, sorry, it was delayed this year all the way until August because of COVID. So I'm not sure if it will be back on track. I'll have to give Dan Rucci a message and find out.
Yep.
Yeah, but that's exciting too.
That is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Our squad's going to be good. We're trying to get a team together.
I want at least 10.
Yeah.
I want at least 10. And I think we got that because we got
I think we do so
the
far,
three
yeah.
ladies that are already competing, right? You got Jess, Fiona, Megan. Then we've got now Gavin, Jake. He's doing a novice, but he's going to definitely want to jump in.
You and I.
You and I. Byron said he was keen.
Yep.
Tito was keen.
Yep. I'm
Yep.
in it with like the gentle bullying. He's definitely doing
Yeah.
it. Yep.
I've got at least 2 of my online clients, potentially even 3 that are keen. So that's 11,
That's
12
really
right
keen
there.
as
Like,
well.
yeah, we're good to go. And anyone else that wants to jump in too. So
Yeah, I'm going to try and get Sarah involved as well.
Perfect.
She's been pretty keen on that as well. And there's
Perfect.
even a few other people who have told about it and who are just kind of raising their eyebrows.
Well, I think we're going to
Need
get Deb
some
into one of
more-
the novice ones
Exactly.
first. Ease
Just
her in.
some gentle.
Yeah. See if we can't
nudges in the right
get
direction.
Denise back into fighting fit
Yeah,
form. So
yeah, that'll be great as
Yeah,
well. That'll
yeah.
be good stuff.
absolutely. Yeah. I mean, so that's all exciting and it's all happening soon. Anything else you wanted to touch on?
I think that's just about everything. I don't really understand the last point. That
The
you put
last
on the
point
board.
is that currently, as we're speaking, everyone, everybody has been tuning in from around the world to look at the US election, and people are already complaining this and that, and I vote red, I vote blue, and this person's useless and this person's useless. In the end, regardless of whether red wins or blue wins, Trump or Biden, is that it shouldn't affect your strength gains.
No, it should.
If you're so upset that you don't go train, shame on you.
Shame on you.
Shame on you. Now get your butt to the gym, get a squat bar on your back, and start lifting some weight.
And it doesn't even matter anyway because Kanye is going to be president in 2024.
He's
so.
absolutely not
Yes,
gonna
he
be president.
is.
How
Kanye for president
dare you.
2024.
You do.
How
no,
dare you.
No.
Dude, it can't get any worse,
Well,
right?
yeah,
You
well,
might release like a cool new album or something. It could be positive.
It can't get any worse. Cue the aliens. No! All right. That's it, guys. Now, if you haven't done so already, please like and subscribe. We're up to 123 subscribers. All right, 123. We are getting dangerously close to.
It's creeping up there. Dangerously
To
close to
125.
125. Dangerously close to 1,000
We're dangerously close to 1/8 of the way to 1,000 subscribers.
Yeah, yeah.
So get us there, people.
Help us get there. Also, help us out with question time.
That's
Ask
right.
a question, have a think about it, and put it in the comment section, and let us know what your questions are.
Absolutely.
Until then, see you next time.
Yeah. Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
See you later.
Bye.